Hi, thanks for joining me today. My name is Jaleesa Monet and I'm with Travel for the Low. And you're here today to learn 10 ways how to make money while you're on the road, while you're traveling. What you will learn today is also how to take your first solo trip, Travel for the Low style, some affordable and exotic locations that you should definitely see in 2016, the best time to buy a plane ticket, um, how to find no or really cheaply priced but nice hotels or hostels or couch surfing or just places to stay, accommodation, how to build a community of travel friends, and the benefits of having travel friends. So, you are in the right place if you're ready to start traveling the world, and but you don't want to spend all of your money. And if you've been looking at everyone else's travel pictures and videos and wanting that for yourself, you're in the right place because you can create it yourself without paying huge fees or huge tour packages. Those are necessary. So a little background about me. I began traveling in maybe 2009. I was invited to Spain to visit a friend and I just really enjoyed it. I had such a great time and I decided that I wanted to keep traveling. So what I would do at the beginning is go home and work, save up all the money that I could possibly, go traveling, spend it all, have to come back to keep working. And I did that for a while, for maybe 2 or 3 years. And then I figured out that I can make money online and stay perpetually traveling without having to go back home to the United States to work there. And it just opens up so many more, it gives you more freedom whenever you can open up your laptop and just start working instead of thinking, okay, I have $500 left before I have to go home. And then from there, whenever you're home, all you're thinking about is traveling again. So it's definitely opened up a new world of perpetual traveling. Like just in the last 3 months, I think I've been on 3 different continents, and it's because I don't have to be anywhere. I don't have to clock in somewhere. I do have to open my laptop and work, but as long as there's Wi-Fi, then I can work. And you can do the same thing too with all these things I'm going to teach you. Okay, so I did a Q&A session on the first video, the first live video. I'm going to try to do the same thing here if we have enough time. If not, then I will send out the messages with the answer to the Q&A. Okay, cool. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. Share my desktop. How about that? Okay. Okay, cool. So you should be able to see my screen this time. So the Travel for the Low objective is to encourage and inspire 100 people to take their first international trip in 2016. And in this section, I offer the travel coaching, my Facebook group, the Facebook page, my Instagram and Twitter. So first is how to plan your international trip, Travel for the Low style. Other times people go and look at places that they want to, that they've been dreaming about visiting, and then they go to a search engine and look up flights. And I never do that. My 5-step plan is first the budget, a realistic budget. If it's only $800, no problem. You can still go somewhere awesome. Then I research. Second, I go to the flight deal websites. Like my favorite right now is Secret Flying, and see what's the cheapest place I can go to. And then I build a strategy, find out the best websites for each country to find apartments, which airline to choose, all that stuff. Then the side gigs is whenever I start working to either make up the extra money that I'll need to take this trip or just to continue working and have money in my account. And then lastly, you take off. So the places that you should definitely visit in 2016 are South Africa, definitely for sure, because unfortunately their economy is tanking. Their dollar is really weak right now. Whenever I visited, one American dollar was 9 of their rand, and now it is 16 of their rand. And Whenever I went, I stayed for 2 weeks, and I only spent $175, and I had a great time. I was taking Ubers everywhere, Uber Black. I ate like a queen. I had sushi. I went out all the time. There was no day that I spent in the house, no day. And usually on my trips, I do a balance between like 5 days out and 2 days inside, just to make sure that I'm not constantly spending money. But in Johannesburg, I barely went home, barely, because it's just so affordable. Like you can skydive for only $121. You can bungee jump for only 33. And getting around the country is really affordable and it's really beautiful. So go to South Africa. Also go to Nicaragua if you can. It's also a beautiful destination, and so is Guatemala. I put all these like pictures of nature in the background because that's just what motivates me. But if you guys need city places, there's also Berlin. I will always recommend going to Berlin. Recommend going to Prague or Romania. All these places are really affordable right now. So now with the jobs, first is email support with Uber. This is a really awesome job because you can take the job anywhere as long as you have a laptop and good connection. You have to work 40 hours a week though, and they do require for you to work either a Friday or a Saturday night. But on this list, I didn't put any kind of like call center jobs because I don't like call center jobs. It's just a lot of people calling in with negative energy, and you don't really want to read that or have to listen to that. But with Uber, you're reading the reviews and responding to them. A lot of the times they're good, but whenever they're bad, at least you're not taking in the energy, listening to someone kind of yell at you. You know, you're just reading while you're sipping back and enjoying your tea, and you say, "Oh, you had a bad time. I'm sorry to hear that." You know, it just doesn't really affect your person as much as other customer service jobs. The second one I put is transcribing. I really enjoy transcribing because it's another job that you just sit. Well, after you pass the test, it is a difficult test to pass. I will tell you that, just because of formatting and grammar, language, all of this. Does the question mark go inside the parentheses? Does it go outside of the parentheses? It's these. You have to pass a test that shows that you know how to format. But after that, you can earn so much money, and I've been doing this for a while now. It appealed to me because I guess I already had a few skills that went well with transcribing, and it just worked out for me that way. So I would always recommend transcribing to anyone who can type quickly. I type the 86 words per minute because I'm always on the computer. So if you can type quickly too, figure out how to transcribe, and it's awesome. Let's go back to the last slide. The third one is a virtual assistant. If you've ever been a secretary, an executive assistant, if you ever help file papers anywhere, if you just know how to keep a business running, but you don't actually want to run a business yourself, then you can become a virtual assistant. And it's even better if you know more than one language because you can become a virtual assistant in many different countries. And the last one is an outreach researcher. It's where you build links and you do research for clients. So a business owner from Germany will send you a list of things that he needs for you to research, and you just go and Google it, you Wikipedia, you do all the things that would be easy for him to do. He just doesn't have that much time, or he or she just doesn't have that much time. So you do it yourself because you have the time. And the benefits of taking these side gigs are you can do them at home before you take off, or you can actually do them while you're on the road. So say you're in Nicaragua and it's a slow day, maybe it's raining and you don't want to go out. You say, okay, I'll just open my laptop and make $50 a day, no worries. All these jobs can be turned into a full-time job. It just depends on your work ethic if you really want to take it as a full-time, or you can just go back home and go back to your other job. You don't need to take these on full-time. The next one is freelance writing and copywriting. If you have any kind of writing skills, then you can be a freelancer or copywriter. Copywriting is persuasive writing that leads people to buy things. Like writing a marketing copy, it's any website that you've read where they say buy now and click here and blah, blah, blah. Like all the words in between that, all the text in between that is copywriting. And if you haven't done it before, and if you don't really know what it entails, just take a few of the many free online courses that teaches you how to copyright. If you're trying to start a travel blog, or if writing was a passion for you at any time, then this is a good job for you. Online tutoring. This is teaching English to children. Well, the one for VIP Kid, yeah, is teaching English to children on an application. It's a startup application that you can open up on your iPad, on your Mac, on your phone, and talk to children in China and teach them English. So while you're relaxing in your house with your cup of tea, once again right beside you, and sitting on the couch, be teaching a little kid how to say cat and dog and and taco and burger, and be getting paid up to $12 an hour for that one. You can score tests online. The ACT is one of them. You can use this website ETS to score tests as well. You can become a search engine evaluation analyst. Now this is something I really love. Actually, let me stop sharing my screen for a second. Okay, I really like the search engine evaluation analyst because a lot of these jobs sound really technical and they sound maybe intimidating because you've never heard of that. Like, what is a search engine evaluator? Like, what are you doing actually? And it's a company from China, and they have you make these searches. Like, say if you search presidential election 2017, we're voting for them. No, 2016. Excuse me. I've been outside of America for so long. I don't even know when we're voting. That's horrible. So you type in like 2016 presidential election, and then all these pictures would come up. And if a picture would come up of Arnold Schwarzenegger, then you exit out. You click on it, you say, no, this is not supposed to be here. And bam, that's it. That's the first search. Second search. The requirements for this job, and if you click on the website, I'll show you the website on the slide. The requirements are knowing the trends and the culture in your country. That's the first requirement. So if you know the things that are going on, if you stay up on any kind of current event and news, and if you know anything about just anything that's happening in the United States at the time, they pay you to make sure that the search engine results are relevant, because it's from a Chinese company, so they just need to make sure that it's, that they're not putting up any old thing. All these Americans look the same. Just put the picture up of anyone. One of these have to be trying to be the president. Okay, let's go back to sharing my screen. And back to presentation. Where'd you go? Okay, right here. Okay, so for the search engine evaluation analyst, iSoftZone is where you want to apply for that. Uber is definitely where you want to apply for Uber, of course. Sometimes the job isn't listed, but just keep checking back and checking back and checking back. Upwork, that's where you find any kind of freelance gigs, like this freelance writing or copywriting, and also where you find translation. So if you can speak another language, then you can make lots of money translating if you're a native speaker and you're a good speaker. But even if you're not a native and really well-versed in the second language, like I always say that I speak 1.5 languages. I speak English and half of Spanish. I definitely speak more than half, but I always say 1.5. But before, my Spanish language skills were anything better than yo quiero un taco, I still did these translation jobs. I would take the wall of text that people would send me and put it into Google Translate. And then whatever, I'd try to make it make sense after that. And then if it was a really difficult job, like a super technical job, wherever you're translating things like for medical billing or for like IT or software, I would invite over one of my friends who speaks Spanish and say, what does this mean? What does that mean? What is this? Could you help me? There's always a way to get around it if you don't know it for sure. So the long-term work that you can do if you're trying to travel for an extended period of time is first to teach English. That's probably what 75% of the Americans who are leaving the States and traveling for more than 6 months, they are teaching English. I interviewed an English teacher named Ashanti Hicks in my Meet a Money Making Nomad series. and he is making enough money to pay for all of his expenses to live and explore where he's living. And he's also saving $1,000 each month from teaching English. And he only works 4 hours a day. Like, you should watch this video. It's amazing. So teaching English with an American accent is very popular right now. A lot of companies will pay, a lot of countries, especially China, will pay. Middle Eastern companies, they will definitely pay good money to have you come and teach your Yankee version of English. And the next one is a working holiday visa in Australia or New Zealand. This could be very lucrative because their lowest pay is $17.29 an hour, and let's get back to showing me. Their lowest pay is about $18 an hour, and if you go on other boards or travel groups and ask anyone if they've ever done it, people say, "Oh, 18 an hour, that's like not enough. That's the lowest." And you're thinking, what? It is because their cost of living is high, but there's always a way to work in a place where the cost of living is high, save a lot of money, and share your bills. So if you split an apartment, and if you maybe not go out to eat every day, you can be living and working in Australia making $22 an hour because that's the average pay. And on Saturdays, they pay time and a half. And I think I have let's see here. I asked a couple of people inside of this travel group that I'm in if they would recommend it and if they liked working in Australia and how's it going for them. And because I definitely recommend researching everything before you ever take a job anywhere. And the most important research is to ask people for their first-hand experiences. I'm looking all around the screen because I'm looking for the screenshot. Okay, if I find it, I'll show it to you guys later. But yeah, definitely working in Australia or New Zealand, they pay a lot. You'll be in a different country, a different location, different background. So even if you're working maybe 6 hours a day, for the rest of the day, you can go out and explore Australia. So yeah. Let's get back to sharing this screen. Okay. So the benefits of working long-term is you become immersed in a new culture. You could learn a new language. You earn enough money to explore the surrounding countries without going home in between. So after you earn so much money in Australia, you don't have to go fly back to the United States. No, you can go directly to Southeast Asia where everything is super affordable and you can just stay there for as long as you possibly can, or as long as your visa allows. The screenshot that I was looking for is a girl saying that she made $14,000 in 6 months of working in Australia, and she worked at a cafe. Okay, and the last slide that I have for working is work exchange. This is really good if you've already saved up money for traveling. So, but you still don't have to save up that much. Say if you're really itching to go somewhere and you only have $1,000, everyone else in the whole entire world will tell you, well, that's not enough. You should stay home until you save up $5,000 more. But I would say just go. $1,000 is definitely enough because you can do all of these side gigs or one of the side gigs that I showed you. You can go to a place where you're earning money the whole time, or you can do a work exchange. So a work exchange is where you work in exchange for free room and board and like maybe a tiny stipend for your food and living expenses. So workaways.org is the best website to find work exchanges. There is a $23 fee per year, but it's legitimate and you have access to so many listings. And if paying $23 a year will get you in a, like maybe, like I have a friend who's living in a hostel in Mexico right now, and she found a workaway and she's just living there for as long as she wants to, as long as she works 4 hours every day. Not every day. I think she works 4 hours for 5 days during the week. So she can stay there as long as she likes. So after those long, strenuous 4 hours are over at work, she just goes and explores the city. And you can definitely hop your way all the way down the coast. You can go all the way through Central America, all the way to South America by doing workaways. So maybe that $1,000 at first doesn't sound like much, but if you're not spending that much, then no worries. And the last one that I put is Outreach 360. It's a nonprofit alternative to the Peace Corps, and it's in the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua. I chose this one because it covers your room and board, and after it's over, you have the chance of making $8,000 whenever it's over, as a like an adjustment fee to get you readjusted back into American life where you're spending money all the time. So, but there's these nonprofits all over the place. I just chose Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic because these places are already super cheap. So after they pay you your $8,000, you can stay there as long as you want. Well, as long as your visa allows. I have to stop saying as long as you want. You can stay there as long as your visa allows and live very comfortably. So there's so many more resources. There's so many ways to make money online. You just have to have the work ethic to maybe learn something that you didn't know how to do at the beginning. Maybe pick up a different type of skill that you never thought you were ever going to do. And just get online and start making money. This is a great website to check out, Real Ways to Earn. I'm going to send you guys these slides, and if you just click on it, it shows you. Fiverr.com is another place to find freelance jobs. The jobs start off at $5. That's why it's called Fiverr. Like you say, oh, I'll offer to do this for my for this company, and I'll charge you $5. But most people who speak English as a native language and have a really good marketable skill, they charge way more than $5. For my European homies, you can check out Remoters. That's a great place to find remote jobs, and Hotjar. Tips about taking these jobs. Check out every job on Glassdoor before you accept them. You definitely have to read the reviews before you accept anything, because if you only read the reviews that say, oh, this is a great job, and blah, 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 blah. If you only read like sponsor reviews, people who are paid to say things, or the CEOs writing it, then of course the reviews will definitely be biased. So read the reviews as much as you can, then read them again, then read some more, and then search some more, and then try to contact as many people and get their firsthand experience and say, did you really have a good time whenever you were teaching there? Did you really rate it a 99? Tell me what was the most difficult thing for you there. And you just have to really see if you can put yourself in that situation by talking to real people who've done it before. You have to be realistic. You're not going to open up your laptop and start making $1,000 a day. Not at the beginning. Maybe later you could, but at the beginning, no. And pick a job where you're actually learning on the go. So there's some jobs that you click on them and you say, well, it sounds like maybe I could do this, but it's really difficult and sounds super technical and I have no idea. And just don't sell yourself short. Click on it, apply, and see if you can learn whatever they're asking. And there's a lot of these jobs that offer coaching and teaching, because a lot of these jobs are new in the market, and they know that people kind of sort of feel like they know what they could do with it, but they're not technical in it. So they will definitely train you or coach you. And don't sell yourself short. At the beginning, whenever I first started traveling, I was trying to do like graphic design and web design. And at the beginning, I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, I remember a little bit of HTML from the MySpace days, whenever you had like all the beautiful pictures floating down your MySpace page like this, and all the, junky looking graphics going here and there. But I didn't really know how to do it. And I stuck with it, and I figured out how to do it because I wanted to just make money online. So if you're determined, then you can definitely learn. Definitely. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen again for the next slide. Okay, so those were the tips. So basically what we are going to do now is hustle our way around the globe. Like the stay at home and work job, like working from home and doing medical billing, that used to be the drive of taking these stay at home jobs. But now that you know that you can take a job and work at home, you can definitely work in Rome. You can definitely work in Thailand. You can definitely work in Nicaragua, because as long as you can figure out the time difference, then they don't know if you're at home or not. The company is not showing up at your job or at your house every day to make sure that you're in the same place that you're supposed to be. You definitely don't have to go clock in anywhere. So just work. Open up your laptop and work. And what you're taking advantage of is arbitrage. And that's basically earning your money in one economy and spending it in another due to favorable economic conditions, which means making an American or Australian dollar and spending it in South Africa, which is awesome. It's the best. Become a digital nomad. So the best time to buy tickets, at the top I put not too early, not too late, but right now. And I know that doesn't make any sense, but the tickets are super cheap right now. The price of oil is going down. Just everything is super cheap. So I put right now because generally in 2016, especially at the beginning, flights are going to be super cheap. And this is a little formula here to figure out how the prices go up during the daytime or during the month span. So a year out, your tickets are they're $50 more expensive than they used to be because they know that there's people like, oh, well, you have to book in advance. I'm going to go travel somewhere in 2017. I got to buy it now. So it's going to be $50 higher for the super planners. And they drop gradually until about 47 days before you're going to take off. So that's the good time to start looking is like a month and a half before you're about to take off. And then 14 days before you're going to take off, your price always raises significantly. So I would say that last minute tickets aren't a good idea. Unless you're booking on the flight deal websites, then they just aren't a good idea. If somebody invited you somewhere like, oh, hey, yo, you have to come. All expenses are paid. If they say all expenses are paid, then sure, book the last minute flight for sure. Otherwise, you should just plan. And the sweet spot is 1 to 4 months out. Like if you know that you want to go somewhere in like 4 months, then start looking in a month and a half. Okay, so building a community of travel friends, it's very important because for so many different reasons, like I can talk on this subject for hours. Okay, point number 1 is waiting for your friends is like waiting for the tooth fairy to come, waiting for somebody to say, oh, okay, yeah, let's do this together. You know, like everybody always says that they want to do it together, and then whenever it comes down to actually planning, that's when they start dropping out. So make travel friends. Travel friends are very important because, so say if you wanted to be a better basketball player, you play a little bit now and you're on the D League, but you're trying to advance to the starting 5. Would you hang out with LeBron James or would you hang out with Bjork? I think that you would hang out with LeBron James. And the LeBron Jameses of traveling are people who are addicted to travel. So you can find these people in these active Facebook groups, Girls Love Travel. All they do is post about travel all day and night. And, oh, I'm here. Does anybody want to hang out? Oh, I'm in Thailand. Does anyone want to grab a coffee? I have 2 tickets to go snorkeling and my friend canceled. Does anybody want to come? Like I'm so serious. Like building a community of people who are interested in the same thing that you're interested in will definitely change your experience. Like even joining that group on Facebook, the Girls Love Travel group, has changed my whole experience of Facebook, because before I would just scroll through like, oh, really? I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. And then now that I'm a part of Girls Love Travel, I feel like I'm on Facebook probably way too much, because it's just people posting about travel all the time, how to hack, how to book everything cheaper than you would possibly think about. And it's just, sometimes you have friends for different things. Like if you want to go somewhere amazing and nobody wants to come with you can call me and I would say, okay, I've never been there, let's go. And I would talk to you about travel the whole time and motivate us to go to different places and say, hey, let's go camping. Hey, this is a friend that you would bring for traveling, me, Jaleesa. And if you want to, feel free, tell me, I'll come. But I'm also not the friend at all that you would take like to buy a car, because I would just stand there like, well, I don't know, everything looks cool. I mean, they all look like they worked, and you end up buying a lemon and taking it home and your car will explode. How do I know? I've done that twice. So you should have friends for different areas, and waiting for your day one lifelong friends to travel with you is just going to take forever. I've been living nomadically for a while, just living in Ibiza for 2 years, and moved to Germany, then went to South Africa and all this good stuff. All these places that I'm like constantly inviting people to come visit. Just please, just come on, friends. And everybody's like, yeah, sure, maybe one day, maybe. I even have friends who fly for free because they either work for an airline or their parents work for an airline or something like this, and they still haven't come. So just waiting for friends, just don't do it. Make some new friends who already love to travel instead of trying to persuade your friends right now. Please do me that favor. Okay, back to the slides. Come on. Okay, cool. So, also I made my own travel community called Travel for the Low, the Hundreds, down there at the bottom, right up under Girls Love Travel. So click on that if you want to join. All we're going to talk about is travel hacking, and every single time that I find anything that's super cheap, I'm always going to post it there. I don't know if you guys signed up for the free 1,000 miles from Spirit, but I really hope that you did. 1,000 miles will get you one way somewhere awesome. And these are the things that you'll see in these groups. And if you're not in these groups, then you can just risk paying more money for stuff. And okay, so this message on the side is for one girl that I met when I was traveling in Ibiza. I met her in Ibiza. You know, we just met. I don't know how. I think we met just talking to each other somehow randomly. And this is only 2 of the many invitations that she's given me, and we both give each other. So this one says, "Hey, I can give you free tickets to this event in Cabo. I have 2 friends going, and I have a hotel, and we can share a bed for free." And before that, I've never been to Mexico, and I said, cool. And so since she's giving me something for free, I can find the cheapest flights. Like, this is something that I have, like, skill in. I can find the cheapest flights ever. And so it's kind of like our bartering for everything. So this is a girl that I met in Ibiza, Spain. She invited me to Mexico. I met up with her in Paris, and she just a week ago was in Munich, and she wanted me to meet her, but I couldn't do it. You know, or Hamburg, sorry, not Munich, Hamburg. But I couldn't make it because I had to come here to Ibiza. But this is all just from one travel friend, and having one friend like that is better than having 20 friends who pretend like they're going to travel, but they're never going to go anywhere with you. Another thing is, travel friends do not let you overbook. Like, this is a post from Girls Love Travel, and she's like, "Hi, ladies. I'm going to Phoenix, Arizona. The travel agent offered a package for $1,700. Suggestions on this? Look what everyone's saying. Robbery." And this is of like 57 comments. So the girl says, "Robbery. Sounds expensive, super expensive." And I'm like, no, because you do not have to pay for these packages. Like, you don't have to do it. Please don't do it. And another one, this long post is about a guy who, this is in backpacking, a Facebook group called Backpacking. And I guess he's been blessed with a lot of things, and he wants to give it to another person who wants to start traveling, because travel friends look out for each other like no one else. I'll say that again. Travel friends look out for each other like no one else. So please make some, and I'll be your travel friend. Okay, also forget about hotels, they're super expensive. And also forget about Airbnbs unless you're in a place that's already super cheap. Airbnb used to be super cheap at the beginning, but since people know that they can make so much money, maybe just charging $10 less than what the hotel across the street is charging, like they can just charge $10 less, and they're going to make a lot of money. So I say skip Airbnb unless it's already like a super, super affordable place. Like, I found a place in Guatemala on this presentation I'm showing you that's only 11 euros a night. It's like $13 a night, and you have the most magnificent views ever. So that I would definitely pay for, because it's only $13 a night. But otherwise, people know that they can make a lot of money off of it. I have a friend who lives in Hollywood, and she has a nice apartment. It's really cool. She pays $1,000 a month, $1,000 for 30 days. But whenever she rents it out to other people, she charges them $120 or $140 per each night. And I was like, excuse me, what? You're charging people $120 to stay here for a night? And she's like, yeah, pay for it. So people know that you're just gonna pay for it. So just leave Airbnb alone unless you're in a super affordable place. Also, the way to find really affordable accommodations is figure out where locals rent to other locals in a city. So here in Ibiza, I was looking for a place and I went to Airbnb.com at first. For what reason, I have no idea. And the results were, yes, you can rent a room in my house for 600 euros. Yes, you can rent a room in my house for 400 euros. And I was like, okay, renting a room for 400 euros, all right. And then I get on a Facebook group called Ibiza Winter Residents, and it's people who live here in the winter, or they live here all year round. But after all the tourists goes away, it's kind of like a little skeleton city. It's like a ghost town because there's only 100,000 people that live here. So this community is for people to like stay together, hang out, and meet up, and do all this fun stuff. And so I posted, hey, I'm Jaleesa. I'm a digital nomad. I'm looking for a place to rent for January and maybe longer. And I got so many replies, people saying, rent my apartment for 300 euros, rent my whole entire apartment for 300 euros. Not a room, not a tiny little corner, not 600 euros for anything, 300. And so now I'm renting an apartment in a really beautiful area, nice place, and only paying 300. Why? Because I didn't use Airbnb. Don't use Airbnb if you can help it. All right, let me just begin sharing my screen again. Okay, so back to this. So forget about Airbnb unless you're booking off season or if it's in an affordable place. I found this house, this 3-room house in Cape Town for 4,900 rand a month. Sounds expensive, right? But after you do the math, that's only $297 a month. And if you're only going to stay for 2 weeks, $148. So yeah, it's 3 rooms in there. Like, that is amazing. You can't get that anywhere else. But I also didn't find this on Airbnb. I searched gumtree.co.za, and I guess that's their version of maybe like a Craigslist. It's a way that they rent to, that South Africans rent to each other. Nicaragua, I found a house on housesitters.com for free. In Guatemala, I found one on Airbnb, and it was only $11 a night. I want to show it to you just because it's very unique. It's a lakeside cabana. It has 23 ratings that I would read 23 times. It accommodates 10 people, has internet somehow. And okay, so this is how it looks. So it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but look at the views. That is what you're gonna wake up to. This is what's right outside your window. That is what you get to see for $11 a night. So sometimes traveling for the low is about changing your mindset about what you think traveling is. A lot of people think it's just luxury all the time and paying so much money just so they can have like gold trimmed silverware whenever they eat, but you don't need gold trimmed silverware. This is what you need. Look at that. Like, if you can wake up every day, I would stay there for a month. I would say, hey, you guys, I'm moving in. I'm just going to work online and live here with you. Hola. Okay. So I'm offering a coaching session to whoever signs up. It'll be a one-on-one consultation. So we can talk on video, Skype, we can talk on the phone or anything. I'll ask you questions and see what kind of trip that you want to make and on what kind of budget. Because I think that many trips are possible on such a smaller budget than we actually think. We'll come up with a comprehensive itinerary together about transportation, activities, dining, really cultivated, authentic experiences in a new country that you don't really have to pay that much for, but it's something that'll be like once in a lifetime things. And I'll give you ongoing support and advice. We can do 2 calls or 3 calls until you feel comfortable with your upcoming trip, and then we'll put together our itinerary together, and you can ask me any kind of questions before you go and all this stuff. And after our coaching sessions, you'll walk away with the knowledge to create a realistic budget, strategize for the perfect location for your trips, to set and keep your goals, because I will be on you about your goals, because honestly, I don't talk about anything else besides travel. If you try to bring up something else besides maybe travel or kittens or, I don't know, vegetarian food, then I just wouldn't even know what to say. I'll teach you how to navigate each airline system for later use, teach you which airlines to book and which booking agents to avoid, because there's a lot of scam agencies out there, and I know them for sure because I paid them and lost my money. So Hove did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that. And I'm Hove. I'll teach you how to book authentic local experiences and teach you just how to book it yourself the next time. So you only have to pay for this once, and then you'll learn how to be a travel hacker. You'll learn how to do this. You'll be the person swinging on this tree who only paid $500 to get there, while everybody else paid $2,500 because they paid for some package. We don't do package around here. So these are a few of the testimonials and inspirations. I helped a girl find cheap routes. I'm inspiring this girl to travel and to work abroad. And this another super close friend that I met through traveling. Like, we were close friends because of traveling. Like, we met each other in New Orleans, then we went to Europe together. Then we've just been traveling all around, and we have plans to go to Maui, well, she's going to Maui now, and I'm going to go meet her there. And whenever at first she was kind of nervous about going to Europe, because she's like, oh, it's so expensive, and I hear blah, 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 blah. But I showed her how to save over $1,200 while she was traveling Europe with me together. So there's definitely, the proof is in the pudding. You can see the world for the low, and I've learned on the go what to pay for, what not to pay for, where to say no, that's too much, where to say yes, we should actually pay extra for this because of safety concerns, because of insurance, because of travel reasons. Like, yeah, for sure. Like, these are the things that I've learned from my years abroad. So, yeah. And the last slide is one of my favorite things to say. And my home airport, used to be my home airport because I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina originally, is this one. See you at the airport. So that's me chilling here with my hippie pants on. And this jacket, or this book bag, where this book bag is sitting, is where I want you to be sitting. Let's take off together in 2016. The world is huge, it's vast, and it's actually more affordable than you think to actually view. So check it out. Check out my website. Check out the travel coaching, and come back later to watch the series Meet a Money Making Nomad, where I'm profiling Americans that are living abroad and actually making money. So see you later. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.